Ray, President Biden has gotten strong reviews from last week's State of the Union. How do you think Biden did to reach Latino voters?
Very interesting. I think it's safe to say that Latino activists, in particular, and political folks in the community, I think have feel how would you say uh, uh, mixed reviews. I think broadly speaking, the first thing that the box Biden had to check off was that he's not this fuddy duddy old man that is not aware. He actually, I think he stepped it up more than his team thought he was going to. Very
Mhm.
energetic, very strong. I think a lot of us also wanted to see us punch back a little bit on the Republicans and Trump for a variety of things, and he did that. He was, I mean, he stared down the Supreme Court. The third thing was I think he articulated fairly well his accomplishments and kind of how that connects with his vision for the future, regardless how you think successful he could be in implementing that. But I think he laid that out well. The short piece, which is the part, unfortunately, that I think the Latinos that are skeptical of Biden at this point was two things. One is his commentary around Israel and Gaza and the Palestinian situation, which he basically punted on, which I think disappointed a lot of people that want to see a ceasefire and the end to the violence. And then the other thing is immigration. Is the substance wasn't terrible, shortening the policy piece he got into. He got a little weedsy about it around shortening the time that you'll get your asylum hearing. That's basically what we're advocating for, to have a reasonable process and similar policies, but using the word illegal and just sort of you could just tell it's just a policy area he's not comfortable with. So in a lot of ways, he hit a home run, but from a Latino activist perspective, we need to hear some more.
I think they did. I feel like they gave him a Red Bull or something before the State of the
He
Union
was hype,
address.
wasn't
Yeah.
he? And then the right's funny because he went from the fuddy duddy old man
hmm
to he's like hyped up, and it's like, well.
You know what I thought watching? I'm like, oh my gosh, he's not this like frail old
He's
man
not.
like
No.
some people in the media had tried to make him look. And we all have like our weak moments that maybe we haven't had our coffee, we're dependent on coffee,
hmm
or we're tired, and then that's the part that they try to make go viral. But we all have those moments. That doesn't define us,
Well,
and I don't think
yeah.
that defines him.
No, and the other thing is that the two things for that. One is that if you don't follow politics closely over the years, he's 81. He's been around a long time. He's a
Hmm.
stutterer.
Yeah.
So part of it is that, he's always had that, he never always had the smoothest delivery all the time. And then the other thing is that, and this comes from, I'm in it knee deep, not waist deep about it. And what frustrates me is that a lot, maybe it's the modern social media era, the communications, but a lot of people are so focused on the presentation when
Yeah.
it's like, we got to look into the policies because, and Jason, that's why I was talking to you about it. If you want, it'd be great to hear your
Sure.
perspective
Yeah.
kind of on the ground because, especially a lot of the guys,
hmm
and they'll literally say this, all they know is Trump comes off more confident, or all they know is he comes off tougher, or all they know is he made a lot of money. And it's like very surface level, but
Yeah.
it's like if I surveyed you on all his policy proposals, you probably don't agree with 20% of them.
Yeah. They just see that as a casino and like, oh, he must,
And by the way, his casinos collapsed. He
Exactly.
didn't make money. It is the easiest business model of all times. Come in and give me money. And they went bankrupt. And by the way, he still owes a bunch of construction workers.
It's all about optics at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He could rave about fake news all he wants, but at the same time, he needs that in order to promote his brand.
Absolutely. So Jason, you were telling me, you talk to the homies.
hmm
So do they care about this election? Are they like a lot of Americans just like tuned out and don't like either option? So what are you hearing in the streets of North Jersey, brother?
You know what? It's a mixture of both because as I mentioned before, I'm in the truck driving industry, so
Okay,
there's a
much
lot
respect.
of
Are you Teamster?
No, I'm
Oh,
not.
okay.
No.
All right.
But whether you're a union or not,
Sure.
there's a lot in that industry that are pro-Trump, basically because of the economics and so on and so forth. And it seems like he's the only president as of recency, at least that I know of, that has been supportive of the truck driving industry. Where everything else, like as far as like the liberal and Democratic side, they want to make everything electronic. They want to make it environmental
Oh,
friendly,
because
so on
of
and
the
so forth.
environmental situation.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they feel like they're going to be out of a job with that kind
That's
of stuff.
interesting.
And then you also have another
interesting
side
feedback.
where they won't trash Biden, but they won't support him either. It's like they're kind of ashamed to admit who they want to go
Yeah.
for. They kind of like it's almost like you're talking about a date night with your wife, but then somebody brings out who you're voting for. Like, whoa, 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 you're asking me too many personal questions here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because it went from in some communities, you don't want to talk about it. And then in other communities that are like Trump strongholds,
Yeah.
you don't want to admit that you're done with him because
hmm
there's a lot of social stigmas. There's a lot of social pressure dynamics with these situations.
So, Ray, has Biden put himself back in the driver's seat against Trump in the presidential election?
I think he's certainly in a much better position than he was last week. I would say that two things have happened. One is Biden is looking stronger and he's more campaigning when he's out here. And the other thing is people are starting to see Trump more. And Trump is not who he was even in 2016. Regardless of what you think about his politics, the way he would present, there was a certain kind of connectivity he would have with his fans. But he's getting up there too. And he's not only just not communicating particularly well, he looks bad. I don't know what orange mist they put on him, but his
Cheeto
policies have gotten even further extreme. And he's talking about deporting all of us from day one. Obviously women's rights would be completely be handmaid's tale with some of these policies that they're pushing. So I think it's the combination of Biden looking stronger and more people seeing, wow, Trump is really in bad shape. So, but that being said, with the Electoral College, this is going to be a 50-50 election, and we have to do all we can to elevate the Latino vote, particularly where we're at here, Dionely in Pennsylvania, because we're going to be the swing state.
Right. And I'll piggyback on what you said. So has Biden put himself back in the driver's seat? For now. He's done it for now, but he's got to keep it up because he has a relentless person that's up against his heels, and you have a lot of people that are still going to support him. So he needs to keep up this thing. I mean, I even saw in the New York Post, a newspaper that is definitely against Biden and so on and so forth. The front page news article said he's alive. So it's it seems like it's almost like, oh my God, we got to watch out for this guy.
No doubt.
If he wants to ride this wave, he needs to continue. So he's in the driver's seat for now, but he's got to keep it up because who knows how long.
And from a Latino perspective, he's got to do something.
Yes.
And address this immigration piece, whether it's executive actions or just being more aggressive and being more on the offense around it. Because, for Latino leaders that have put themselves on the line for this guy again and again, and the Democratic Party again and again, we know the alternative is unacceptable, but you've got to put some up here. Mm-hmm. And I think that the immigration piece, not that's the only thing we care about. We care about a lot of things. But he's got to show something specifically. He's putting it on the line for the Latino community.